chaos on Capitol Hill.
Windows shattered. Shots fired.
Hold them this way!
In one of the largest security breaches the United States has seen in decades.
I've never been in this house! How about you?
Lawmakers shelter in fear.
Everybody stay down!
President-elect Joe Biden calling the violent crowd a mob.
This hour, our democracy is under unprecedented assault.
As President Trump delivers a different message.
So go home. We love you. You're very special.
Well, the pictures leave you almost speechless. Trump supporters, rioters, anarchists, a violent mob, whatever you want to call them, breaching our nation's capital tonight.
So right now we know one woman has been killed, multiple people arrested, and a crowd remains outside the now secure Capitol building. Well, today the Electoral College votes were supposed to be certified in a joint session of Congress formalizing Joe Biden's victory. That never happened. So again, the Capitol building's secure at this hour, but some 4 hours after it was breached.
I think people are breathing a sigh of relief tonight. Also, this just in, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, she literally just put out a statement minutes ago saying Congress will continue the electoral vote certification process tonight. Now that the Capitol is clear, we don't exactly know at what time that will start.
All right, and we do have team coverage on the chaos at the Capitol tonight from Washington, D.C. and right here in Colorado.
So much territory to cover tonight. First, we want to get to ABC News' Andrew Dimbert. He has been among the reporters out live near the Capitol area tonight. Andrew?
President Trump himself addressed the crowd and essentially instructed them to take their message to Capitol Hill. One woman shot, the nation's capital on lockdown. Lawmakers being told to hide under desks and in closets as the Capitol building is under siege by violent and angry pro-Trump demonstrators. Sources tell ABC a pipe bomb was found at the Republican National Committee headquarters in D.C. and was safely detonated by law enforcement. Members of Congress who were trapped inside the Capitol reacting to the chaos.
A little bit dicey with people banging at the doors of the House chambers.
Trump supporters from around the nation storming the Capitol, forcing evacuations as Congress ratifies President-elect Joe Biden's decisive Electoral College victory. And after both Republicans and Democrats calling on President Trump to do more to stop the violence, Trump finally releasing a video telling the violent protesters to go home, but not before continuing to stoke the flames by spreading the false claim that the election was stolen from him.
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace.
Joe Biden slamming Trump's response.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now and defend the Constitution.
Leading up to the violence, Trump had been demanding Vice President Mike Pence somehow prevent Joe Biden's win after it had already been certified by the states.
If Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election.
But after 4 years of unwavering loyalty to Donald Trump, Pence showing defiance. In a statement before presiding over the ceremonial Electoral College event, Pence writing, vesting the vice president with unilateral authority to decide presidential contests would be entirely antithetical to the founders' vision laid out on the Constitution.
All right, so let's get back to how this day started. Congress began its morning certifying the Electoral College votes to declare Joe Biden the official winner. He only made it to Arizona in both the House and the Senate before certain Republican lawmakers contested the results, and that sparked debates, even among some of our Colorado representatives.
You cannot change the rules of an election while it is underway and expect the American people to trust it.
With respect to my new colleague from Colorado, the question is not whether Joe Biden was elected the 46th president of the United States. He clearly was.
And then just moments after Boebert and Nagu spoke, the mob stormed the Capitol. And look at this photo, incredible. You can see that is Colorado Congressman Jason Crow right there, who, by the way, is a former Army Ranger, trying to get everybody to get down on the ground. Lawmakers were even told to put on gas masks. We continue our team coverage with Denver7's Megan Lopez.
And Megan, I know you spoke with multiple members of the Colorado delegation.
That's right, Ann and Shannon. And those lawmakers told me that this was a stunning turn of events today. Now, they are safe, they are sheltering in place, and they had some pretty strong words for those rioters. But both of them told me that they are determined to continue that process that they started today.
To what purpose does the gentleman from Colorado seek recognition?
There are days every election people remember. Normally,
we of this Congress and this administration.
The certification of electors isn't one of them.
My primary objection to the counting of the electoral votes.
This time after rioters stormed the U.S. Capitol will be hard to forget.
We were told that tear gas had been fired in the chamber and that we should get our gas masks that were under all of the seats.
The speaker had left the chambers, and we were replaced by the head of the Rules Committee.
I helped others grab some heavy furniture and move it in front of the doors to try to help the Capitol Police in securing the House floor.
While they moved furniture and ducked for cover, photographers clicked away, capturing this image of Colorado Representative Jason Crow getting on the ground. Eventually, lawmakers were evacuated, and Colorado's delegation sent out tweet after tweet saying they were safe and condemning the acts, while the president,
I know your pain,
put out a video calling for calm.
I feel like the president raised everybody's temperature, and now he's trying.
Representatives Buck and Perlmutter told me that they're staying close to the Capitol and that they are ready and determined to get back to work tonight. We don't quite know when that's going to be happening, but as you heard, Nancy Pelosi says she wants it to happen tonight. Now, something else that we are hearing is that some of those lawmakers who were planning on objecting to this certification process have been told that they need to stop in order to let the process kind of continue. As we've reported, Representatives Doug Lamborn and Lauren Boebert here from Colorado have both said that they plan to object to the certification in at least 6 states. So we'll have to see if that continues as this process resumes. Ann and Shannon.
All right, Megan Lopez, thank you. And then against all that, pro-Trump supporters have gathered at the Colorado State Capitol building. And as a precaution, all city and county offices closed about 2. Even COVID-19 testing sites were shut down early in Denver today. Denver7 Jason Grenner has been out there all afternoon long and joins us live.
And Jason, it has not been a quiet afternoon there. In fact, somebody's getting arrested right behind you.
Yes, this actually is happening right now. One of the individuals from either side of Lincoln, this kind of large protest kind of devolved into just pro-Trump supporters and then anti-Trump supporters. An individual was standing in the middle of the street just because as obscenities were being hurled back and forth. That individual is now being arrested. This is the second arrest that we've seen from an otherwise largely peaceful gathering until just about 4:15. We want to show you some new video that we got. There was an individual that came down trying to spray paint the sidewalk. That's when it appeared someone who had been standing on the pro-Trump side went to push that person almost into the street and into traffic. Now that person was okay, but that prompted SWAT officers who have been back and forth and circling the block for the majority of the day, I should say, to come right back here. Again, the majority of today, when hundreds gathered here on the steps earlier, was a pro-Trump rally. They stopped the steal rally. It was called something about a storm that was coming, all people protesting what was happening in Washington, D.C. Then the news came through of what was actually happening in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Capitol. I spoke to a variety of people about what they thought about that. Take a listen.
If they have to storm the Capitol and put them on lockdown, so be it. They've let this all go way too far with this whole communist agenda.
There's a lot of turmoil on both sides. It's hard to, comprehend. We got to come together as a country. It's not coming together as a country.
So again, now that police have left the scene once again, this is what things have devolved into. Just people on either side yelling back and forth across Lincoln. We will continue to keep you updated live as things happen here.
Boy, this is a lot to take in. Jason Grenauer live at our state capitol tonight. So as this is all happening, President Trump continues to tweet his baseless claims of election fraud.
In his most recent, he said, quote, "These things happen when, quote, great patriots are treated badly and unfairly." Twitter is even taking an unheard of stance tonight. They have just deleted his most recent tweets, including his video telling rioters that, quote, he loves them.
And in the midst of all of this, some lawmakers are asking for the president to be immediately impeached. Among them, Democratic Representative Gwen Moore from D.C., who tweeted, "The 25th Amendment must be invoked." Now, so far, there have been no impeachment calls from our Colorado lawmakers, and we will, of course, Keep an eye on our nation's capital throughout this newscast, throughout the night, and in the coming days, of course, also online on the denverchannel.com. And you can watch us anytime through our Denver7 app.
All right, we have actually even more political drama today. We have a shift of power in the U.S. Senate.
ABC News has called the final Senate race in the Georgia runoff election, with 98% reporting Democrat Jon Ossoff has defeated Republican David Perdue. Just over 27,000 votes separate the two, and that race was called just a few hours ago.
And then early this morning, Democrat Raphael Warnock was declared winner over Republican Kelly Loeffler. Now, that close race wasn't as close. Warnock won by more than 65,000 votes at this hour, at least. And with those races over, Democrats take the majority in the Senate.
Getting the vaccine doses out as quickly as possible.
We're ahead of the curve compared to the rest of the country.
But 98% of Coloradans still haven't received their first dose. Governor Polis lays out the next steps.
The sooner that we get folks vaccinated, the quicker we get back the Colorado we love.
It'll be a cold one tonight, coming up when our next chance for snow arrives.
Plus, we're staying on top of the unprecedented riots at the U.S. Capitol and the protesters who breached and vandalized the complex.